Warning: the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Coach's Box Call Like We See It podcast. Hey, guys, how's it going?
Going good here. How about you, Jason? You doing all right?
I'm here.
Well, that's awesome.
I mean, if that's a confidence builder, I don't know what is.
I mean, it could be worse. You could be Jim. Jim's in Pittsburgh, of all places. Pittsburgh
sucks.
I mean, did you guys really expect Jim to be on?
No.
I mean,
he did tell us. He told us pretty early he wasn't going to be on this week. That he was in Pittsburgh.
He did, but that's still. I mean,
I believe he's working the D2 Final Four or Elite Eight. The D2 Elite Eight, I think, is what he said.
Hey, we all got jobs. I get it. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, some of
us work
could be a lot worse.
4 job, 5, 6, it don't matter.
6, 7. Yeah. So I'm glad that's old and dying. Yeah, I mean, you could be answering a bunch of emails and people wondering why their kids didn't make All-State, because that's fun. Anybody want that job? Anyone? Yeah.
No one wants that job. No one wants that job.
Chris does.
You will. Chris doesn't even want the job. He got stuck with it because he created the process.
He loves it. Guy relishes. Yeah. He relishes the role.
You worked enough years in private schools to know that don't start something, you're going to get stuck doing it for the rest of your life.
He loves when that email pops off, when he hears that sound or he feels that buzz in his pocket. He loves it. He knows that when he opens that phone or looks at that computer, it's going to be another delightful, happy customer at the MBCA.
It makes him feel loved.
No. It gives me a certain perspective on the human race is really what it does.
It builds his confidence about the human race.
I almost want to become a basketball coach just to send him an email.
All you got to do is call Chris Miller Sr. and you will get a confidence boost on the human race.
Yeah, and your basketball coaching abilities.
Will. And you got 3 hours, go for it.
And you will get a confidence boost over the Fox C6 Warriors coaching staff and how wonderful a job we did this year.
If wonderful is a relative term, then you'll sure get that.
Oh man!
It's interesting though. I mean, I said it gives me a perspective on the human race. I never said good, bad, indifferent, anything like that. I will say this. I've had some very interesting emails. I have people who are appreciative because they think this is the easiest process that we've had. Everybody thinks that their kids should have been All-State. I will say that. My only thing to anyone who ever sees this, who has a question about it, everyone's an expert in their area, and everybody who's a coach thinks that, if you have a really good player, thinks their kid should be. I thought I had an all-state player. He played 4 years of jury. He wasn't. I thought he was pretty good, and he didn't make it. So it is what it is.
He never made all state.
No.
Wow. Well, okay.
Yeah. And, I'll be honest with you. I never held a grudge. I didn't complain to anybody. I just said, well, you didn't make it. And that was that. So, you can.
I'd have voted for him. I coached against him. I'd have voted for him.
Well, you weren't on the all-state committee that year, and you wouldn't have been in the right class anyway. So it's it was a good weekend, I thought. I mean, those people, I tell them, when I have them in there. Yeah, I won the district. So what?
At our place. So I was in the right class. I just wasn't on the committee.
You were in class 4 that year, were you not?
No, we hosted the district. I played.
I don't remember.
I played Stillville before you. The game before you did.
Oh, okay. So you guys. Yeah,
I just wasn't involved in the NBCA. I was a non-involved coach.
Oh, well, you're one of those guys. That's cool.
I had a member. I had a membership. Shut up.
Gosh, you're so sensitive. We had a lot of people in there that I tell them when we have the meetings, and especially anybody who's new, I'm like, hey, you got to pick 20 kids, not 21. You got to pick one of those kids to be player of the year. And they're all like, yeah, and they're happy to be here. And they get about to and I said, you'll think that the first 15 are easy. And then the last 1 or 2, they're like, can we have 2 for the 1 spot? Nope, you sure can't. And you got to sit there until you guys figure it out. And of course, you know how it's going to go. Somebody's going to be upset because little Johnny or Jenny didn't make it. And there's a lot of really great players out there who had great years. And there's a lot of things taken into account. Didn't happen. So
it's interesting some of the things you argue about to decide why we're going to pick one over the other. I mean, and it kills me, all these people that have no clue what goes into all of it, and I can't believe, how is so and so not? Shut up! You guys have no idea. Like, they act like we all just sit there and. Oh, it just makes me angry when I see posts of people that have no idea. They have no idea. None.
Yeah. It happens in softball. I've been in those meetings too, and it's all the same thing. It's afterwards, it's why couldn't they put that kid on there? Well, because their coach didn't pay the $45 to be a member. And it's the Coaches Association awards. It's not Misha. Don't call the Misha office. They really don't give a crap about that. In fact, they don't give a crap about that. It's not the Misha awards. And that they just can't seem to get through that in any way, shape, or form. That's the biggest roadblock that I've found.
I've had someone say, well, I think there should be more kids get it. I mean, back in the early, when the media used to do it, originally it was 5. Then they made it 10, a first and a second team. And then it went to 15. And then they went to 20. And our executive board has discussed it about this much. I'm adamant. I will not, as long as I'm doing it. And if they want to make it anymore, I'm going to say I'm out. Because there's no need to have 25. And I told someone in an email, if you want to have 25, then somebody's going to complain and they're going to want 30. We don't need that.
Everybody gets an ice cream cone, Chris.
Football, baseball, volleyball. Why they have more kids? I'm like, football plays 11 at a time, 22. Then you can have your special teams, whatever. Baseball has 9. Softball has 9. You can take your flex hitter, DH, whatever. So you can have 10. Volleyball has 6. Basketball, you can play 5 kids at a time. So that's why we're the most restrictive, because 5 kids at a time.
Well,
Sorry.
This year in softball, we had an issue that came up, and we ended up not distinguishing between first and second team in our all-state because right before, it was either right before or right after the all-state meeting, and they had the teams selected. A district in one of the classifications came forward and just kind of in passing said, hey, I don't think the district used the appropriate method to select team. Instead of doing a vote like we're supposed to do within the district, they just decided and said, hey, the winner gets 4 kids, the second place team gets 3 kids. And so but then we have to rank kids in order to go on first. So this is your top infielder 1 through 6, so that you can't take a lower kid over a higher kid. So it's really, the district has to get it right in order to move forward. And if they don't, it kind of screws some things up moving. So we just decided and said, since that district messed it up, all the kids are all state. There's no first team. There's no second team. We're just because we can't go back and redo the whole thing. We're just naming everybody all state and not distinguishing between the two. And it actually worked out kind of well in that sense.
Well, we don't have a first or second team anymore. And I'll be honest with you, thank God. I can't see anything good happening in today's age where someone didn't get first team and they got second team.
You're just all state.
You got all state. And when they say, well, is it first or second team? You're all state. And that's it. Even with all district. You're all district. There's nobody who's this or that. No. There's no honorable mention. You're just either you are or you're not. You're in or you're out. You're in or you're out. That's it. I'm happy with that. And I think we have. I would like to fix some things, change some stuff, but we're about as good as we can probably do it. Although I do always welcome better ideas.
Whatever process. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just saying what I'm always looking to improve and make things better.
Yeah, I remember when you went through the whole Google form process, and you and I looked at both of those to see what would be the way to. Any process you have has to be scalable and repeatable. And if you try to change too much, it becomes unscalable and unrepeatable by 70 some odd districts. So you have to be able to find a way to do that.
Yeah, and
if you don't get it right at the district level, it doesn't work moving forward.
No, it's easy. How hard is it? You get on the Google form, you click, done.
Yeah, Jason, you would think it's just that easy, but some people can screw up a Sherman tank in a sandbox because they can't read. I will say this: that is probably my number one biggest complaint of all time. Just effing read. Just read. Don't ask something that's already been put out there in print. Just read your damn email. That's it. Half of your questions would be answered if you just freaking read. When you piss and moan about the kids not doing what they're supposed to do, and you turn around and you don't do it, that's the problem. So, practice what you preach, do what you're supposed to do, and all problems are probably going to get taken care of right there.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. I don't read my. Yeah, I read my NCAA emails.
Yeah, I was reading earlier this week. Google form in the near future will start to have modification allowances, so you'll be able to have the question read to the person that's answering those things. So they don't have to read.
So many jokes I can't say on here.
You can just have it talk to them.
So I'm gonna have a modified. It's gonna be modified for my IEP.
You could if a kid has to have a question read to him. Google form will allow that question. You might even be able to have it done in your own voice, where you speak the question.
Awesome.
You can have it's like an audio question.
Voice. It could be Jason Jarvis' voice, and you can hear my voice. That would be awesome.
Even Google has a new voice. It's Jason Jarvis.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine how many people would pick me? Oh yes. No one.
No, no one's
not
picking you.
I know, but hey,
but
It's not happening.
yes, so I get that.
like a dream.
Chris, you were there. How
Yeah.
was the Final Four? Were you there both
And
weekends?
yeah, it was. Oh yeah, I'm. Talk about what did you do over your spring break? Hell, I was in Columbia. Um, I think the first weekend there was. I'll be honest with you, there was only really a couple of good games. Um, there were some really dominant teams in class 2 and 3, boys and girls.
I mean, the Principia games look like really competitive.
What did someone say would probably have been the best thing for the other team
I'm
to
sorry.
do?
Was that too? I'm sorry. Was that?
Instead of getting beat by 50 or whatever it was, the question that was posed was, what would happen if you just showed up to the game, you walked over where they have the trophies, you pick up your trophy,
And just
get your
walk off?
medals, you take some pictures and say, hey, we're just going to go ahead and take off. So they're like, what would happen? I said, well, they lose 2-0 on a forfeit. So that's a heck of a lot better than getting beat as bad as they did. And then it's in the record book. You lost state championship by 2 or 1 or whatever they
Points.
mark
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and a lot of people. I mean, Principia. We discussed them the last time we had the show on the girls' side specifically, and they won the state championship class 3. The boys won in class 3 as well, pretty handily over Miller Career. There's a lot of discussion about them and what they're able to do in comparison to other schools in the state and even other private schools in the state. And well, why are they class 3? And it's because of the rules of the multiplier. If you talk to Coach Blossom, he would love to play up and play in a higher class. And it's not possible with their enrollment based on the championship factor. They should be class 4 next year in both boys and girls basketball. They didn't have enough points to do it. Now they do, and they should be there. So I personally think class 4 girls basketball next year is going to be epically good as long as the brackets work out where 3 teams can make it. Whoever is coming in as the 4th place team, they can do the thing I just said. They can go and pick up the trophy and then head back because you're going to have Principia girls. You're going to have Donovan girls who won it last year. Then this year they were the runner-up. And then you're probably going to have Stratford, who lost the player of the year. This is how good Stratford is. During the season, they lost by 3 points to Incarnate Word. Stratford, out right near Springfield, public school. They had the player of the year, and they lost that game pretty much because the coach didn't know. His assistants told he asked how many timeouts he had. They told him he had 1. He did not have any. He calls the timeout. He didn't have technical foul. Critical moment. Now, I'm not blaming the assistants. That's a very tough thing to happen. So, I mean,
really? You would blame your assistants if that happened? But anyway,
no. Eddie subbed some kids I didn't want to, and I yelled at him. I didn't blame him for the loss. So, no, I just got mad at him. So you've got the best player, the Larson girl. She tears her ACL in the district championship. So they didn't have her when they got into the state tournament, and her sister's a sophomore. Her sister can flat out ball, and I mean, now they lose the older one who got hurt, but they've got dang near everybody coming back. That's going to be a fun one to watch, and I just hope I hope they get there, and I hope whoever the 4th team is, they're good, so that way I can watch, have some good basketball going on there. I do think, I mean, again, the class 1 through 3, Tipton girls were really good. It was a blowout. Eugene, they won their 2nd state championship. I heard the officiating wasn't great. I didn't watch that one. A lot of fouls called. Hayti could have played a certain way if they were allowed to. I did think, and I thought the performance that Quentin Coleman put on, for Principia is drop 50, you know. So and Dennis Gates was there. I really think Dennis Gates needs to pick him up. So
I think he was. I think Mizzou's on his short list. I read that somewhere.
Well, he decommitted from Wake Forest. So
I see that, and we need to let him come on into the zoo.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But 4, 5, and 6. A lot of people were surprised at Logan Rogersville beating Vashon, and then Clayton upsetting Benton. Everybody I talked to said Benton Vashon was supposed to be the state championship, and the Brandon kid from Logan Rogersville is the real deal. He's a great player. He ended up being the Class 4 Player of the Year. Vashon ended up getting 4th. There were between them and Benton in the third place game. There were 58 fouls called. I know none of you guys are paying attention, but 58 fouls. That's insane.
I'm just used to hearing that. So
58 fouls.
I mean, 58 fouls.
We had some games like that this year, though.
How many fouled out?
I don't know. I can't remember. I think about 4 or 5 kids.
58 fouls. I mean, I bet there was a nice rhythm to that game.
Yeah, it was called line up and shoot.
Gosh, that had been miserable to watch.
Nothing like getting into a free throw contest in a Final Four game. Well,
yeah. So, and I thought the Smet and Blue Spring South was really good.
Yeah.
So there 4, 5, and 6 had some really good games.
Vashon losing is a big story, right? I mean,
they didn't shoot it well, and Rogersville was not worried about their pressure. That
kid for Rogersville can play, man. Jeez, they're good.
Well, they got 2 big old boys that are sophomores, and they are very complimentary.
Yeah.
So they could handle the ball, and they can do a lot. So, if you're wondering why it's kind of like sporadic right now, we've got some technical difficulties here because we're supposed to have maybe 1 or 2 more people on, and we're not able to pull them in right now. So we're trying to do that in the background here, just a little bit. But anyway, a lot of people are talking about, should we change the state tournament? Should we reseed it? And that's a big job, but again, a lot of conversation about it, especially after the blowouts.
Yeah, the split is a big discussion, especially. I'm biased, and I don't like the idea of a split. So
yeah. Jason, what's your thoughts on splitting public and private?
Being in the class now that I got to coach with you in Class 6, gosh, it's such a hard question to answer right now. I used to think, oh yeah, split them up. Let's just do it. But then there's some of these private schools it's not like Valley Catholic's recruiting for basketball. It's not like St. Vincent's really recruiting for basketball. It's like, I don't know, man. But then you look at Principia, and you can't tell me they don't have an advantage over everyone, private or public.
And
we are talking about a handful of schools that make this tough for everybody.
Yeah, so it's like, and we went to a couple private schools and played, and we look around at their facilities, and I'm like, we can't compete with that. Our Fox's gym cannot compete with some of the gyms we went and played at some of these private schools. I mean, it's not even close. And you can't tell me that's not an advantage. That's a complete and utter advantage. And in St. Louis, there are kids leaving public schools all the time to go to these other schools. You can't tell me that kids don't go to CBC or to Chaminade or to these other schools to play sports. They do. And so it's so hard to, it's so hard.
And I'll take part of both of your discussions that you just talked about. And yes, Chris, it is a subsection of the private school thing that I think you're talking about. But and then take Jason's when he talks about facilities. I don't think you can put, even in our sense at Pius, our facilities up against Herky's new gym is way better than our gym that we've got over at Pius. And the facility,
wait till you build one. I mean, are you going to build? You guys are going to build a football field. You're going to build a soccer stadium. You got a great baseball field you just built. I mean, it could be better.
I'm still saying, but they're not the flashy type that you're looking at with the turf and anything like that. And our track is, if we have the new football stadium with the track is still several years away because we just don't have the money to outlay for it. So I think it's a subsection of what you're talking about in those senses.
Yeah, and Pius Pius is not comparable to Chaminade and St. Vincent. St. Vincent's not comparable to those other. That's what's so hard to. So you separate all the private schools, and then
there's not enough private schools for multiple classes in a sense, because there's less than 70 private schools now. That's one classification. There's
St. Pius is a perfect example. Do you really think that every coach of Jefferson County didn't want to play them anymore? No, that's a bunch of crap. No, and I could say that now. I don't coach in Jefferson County I do it at Crystal, but you're going to tell me that all these coaches didn't want to play St. Pius anymore? No, that was people above them that made those decisions. So it's so hard it's a hard question.
There's other unintended consequences that would come from a split, that you pull those 70 some odd private schools out of the equation, and it changes your classifications. That lowest or that biggest, what used to be a class 3 school, a big class 3 school, might now be lumped in with a bunch of class 4 schools. So no longer are they the big fish in their pond. Now they're the medium-sized fish with a bunch of bigger schools. And that's not much and do they lose what advantage they had there with that? Why would private schools stay part of MSHSAA if they're not included? There is a theory that they would go and form their own association, and then it becomes the wild, wild west of whatever they would want. You kicked us out for this reason? Fine. We'll go do it ourselves, and we'll do it our own way. So there's other unintended consequences that I don't think are fully thought through in this.
Well, I think the argument people are going to have with that, Kevin, is there's private schools already doing it their own way.
Public schools are already doing it too. I think the best right now, and I'm with Chris, is the open division at the top. Is you have an open division, and then you have however many classifications that you have, and you have certain schools at a certain size and or other schools that want to be part of it can go be part of it and be part of the open, which I think both Principia teams would want to be part of that open division, and they can go up there and play in that division. And then that would come with advantages that you would get by declaring to be part of that. What that looks like, I don't know, but that would be part of that situation.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that.
Yeah. Class 6, we're definitely public schools in Class 6, like Seckman and Fox and others, would be a big fan of that. Good, go get some of these schools into that open thing. Go.
Well, apparently we lost so much enrollment. I didn't realize this. We have a chance of being Class 5 next year. Fact. So Vianney went in their district and going up to 6. That might be good if we end up 5. I don't know. I do think it fixes a lot of the problems with the public-private debate if you have an open division and you put because Kevin's right. And I know I've been at Pius, and my work with the NBCA allows me to see a lot of stuff with other schools. It's the haves and have-nots. There's a lot of private schools that they don't have the facilities or they don't have the resources. They're just kind of basically there for really for the kids, just outside of public school education. A lot of really good private schools, small ones. They're not looking to be big, but they want to be a part of Michigan, give their kids something. It's a very interesting conversation. So, I mean, it's we probably should wait and kind of see what comes about on the basketball advisory after they meet, and see if there's any great ideas that were thrown out there, and hopefully they end up on the ballot. Who knows? But I think we did have. I mean, at least we had some good basketball games for the second half, or for the second Show Me Showdown. But it really wasn't for the first. But yeah, I mean, those upsets in Class 4, they were pretty huge. And kudos to Clayton, never been there, get second place, and they hit a machine, Logan Rogersville, and then MICDS winning Class 5 over Sykeston, and they dismantled them in the second half. Pretty good team right there, and they only play like 6 or 7 kids, man, and they really get after it. So
we kind of
big upsets.
We kind of saw Clayton up close, so we kind of. I mean, got a little taste.
Yeah,
we got a little taste of what they were about, and I was surprised that what happened leading up to them getting to where they got to, but good for them. I mean,
oh yeah,
maybe next year, the Warriors can run up there and get up to Columbia. Or wait, it's not in Columbia, is it? Where's it going to be next year?
What?
Is it going to be in Columbia next year
Final
again?
4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know.
What are we doing? Are we taking a field trip?
I didn't know if they were switching it up or some crap. I thought there was
the choir is going to go sing the national anthem.
The Valley Catholic Warriors going up there?
No. The Fox Warriors under the great tutelage of Chris Miller, man.
Oh, our choir went up there and sang at the Final 4. I thought you maybe meant something like that. We got a long way to go before we can get up there.
Yeah, I'll be positive.
I'll be positive. I'm positive our kids need to get in the damn gym or go home and work on some stuff. If they're watching this, they're doing something wrong. Get your ass off the couch, your phone, pick up a basketball and dribble it, shoot it, do something, because we need to get better at it. So there's my message to them. Let's not pull any punches here.
I was trying to get Chris all, that's why I did it.
Whatever. Yeah, good for you.
All
right. When we come back, we're hopefully going to work out some of our technical difficulties here. Kevin, I think we got a pop-up blocker or something that's not letting this happen. But when we come back, we will talk some college basketball. Well, I don't know. And we'll talk some college basketball, and we'll see, see if we can get everybody else on. You're watching the Coach's Box.
I'm an action hero, and like in every epic chase scene, there's no way I'm getting away without hitting a fire hydrant. Or driving through a fruit stand. Or 2. Woo! Looking good. Road closed? Not today. Get Allstate, because mayhem is everywhere.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands? It's Between Takes with Dyken and Dave Mars.
Cut. All right, next set up.
Hey, Dave, we got another question about energy savings, and this is a good one.
Yeah, efficiency is so important.
Didn't you just talk with Dyken about this?
They said energy efficiency is the key to a happy marriage. She gets the temperature, I get the savings.
Good to know. I'll tell them to check with their local Dyken dealer.
All right, back to one.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com. Check out Elite Collectibles, now at 2 locations. Our Arnold store focuses on Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, and other trading cards plus tournaments. Our Imperial location offers a little mix of everything, including sports and trading cards for all collectors. And don't forget, we host consignment auctions every Tuesday. Stop by, hang out, and see what you can pull at Elite Collectibles, now with an Arnold location and an Imperial location. If you love sports at every level, there's only one place to be. Gateway Sports covers it all. Preps, college, and the pros. Real coverage, real voices, real passion for the game. From live shows to podcasts, Gateway Sports connects the region like nobody else. Proudly powered by First Form and Recalibrate.com. Visit gatewaysports.net. Every level, one gateway.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Coach's Box Call Like We See It podcast. And, well, we still have a little bit of an issue now because we got our guest on, and now Kevin can't get in. And I'm not really sure what's going on with our show here, but it's saying that we can have more people, but it's only allowing 3 right now. I'm not really sure what's going on, but we have Shawn Erickson. Coach, can you turn your camera so we can get the whole, maybe we can get, there we go. Makes it so much easier.
Oh, okay. Lovely. I think,
Coach,
this is all
how's it
Jarvis's
going?
fault because he knew the ratings the last time I came on the show were through the roof, so he was rigging this so I couldn't get on.
You're gonna have to turn that volume up a little bit. We've obviously worked out all the kinks before we went on the air. So for all the people who end up watching this, it's all good. We're fixing it on the fly. It's been a while, but what we said in this segment of the show we're going to be talking about college basketball. What's your thoughts so far on the NCAA tournament?
If you got the money, you're going to win. I mean, can you not hear me?
Not real well.
Oh, you're not real well.
I'm switching.
This is great.
I know, right? Talk about off the rails, whatever.
Definitely. Look at this. This is quality at its finest right now. Like, this is the best. Jarvis, what's your take on college basketball right now?
I'll tell you what, I enjoyed St. John's beating Kansas. That might have been one of the highlights for me of the tournament. That was very enjoyable. It's been entertaining. I mean, there's been a lot more upsets this year than there was last year. But that was probably my most enjoyable one. High Point was enjoyable to watch. They were exciting to watch, even though I know they only won the one, but they were some enjoyable games. I mean, overall, I think the tournament's been pretty fun to watch. Of course, Mizzou, being a Mizzou fan sucks. I don't even know why I try to be one. I don't, my son goes there. I guess that's part of it. I did pick Arkansas to win it all. My daughter goes there. I don't know why I picked Arkansas, but I just did. But Being a Mizzou fan sucks. First round again, gone. I don't know. It's been good so far, I think.
Sean, you got yourself muted. You might want to unmute yourself before you start talking. There you go. All right,
Can
let's
you
see
hear
if
me
this
now?
works now.
No, that's
Can
Oh
you hear me
man,
now?
it's so much better. Yeah.
Jeez, what? Off the rails and then some. I'm down at the train station now. If you get the Yellowstone reference.
Absolutely, absolutely do. What's your if that Jason hit it right because it's really hard to be a Mizzou fan. I mean, I love going and listening to Coach Gates at the clinic. I think I would play my ass off for the guy, and they just haven't had the success. And now people are starting to, the natives are a little restless. Let's just say. Your thoughts?
Well, this is what I would say. I think they had a flawed team from the start. I
I
think they thought
agree.
they were going to be. I think they thought they were going to be able to shoot it better than they were able to. I will give Coach Gates credit in the middle of it. I thought he made some adjustments and changed their style to fit the players that he had. But I think going forward into the offseason, he's going to have to find more shooting. And he's going to have to find a 5-man that can score consistently with his back to the basket and actually hit a free throw. I mean, those would be the things that I would look for from a just a if I were the general manager standpoint trying to build a roster. And having had inside access to the program, knowing, the year before when they had Bates and Grill that could stretch the floor, they scheduled so hard. Everybody knocked their schedule in the beginning of this year. I think they scheduled right for the team because last year I thought they front loaded so hard that they got to the end of January and they hit the wall. I think if we would have had the team in the middle of January, in March last year, I think they would have been at least a second weekend team. But I think, it's all those things that the common fan doesn't understand in terms of, when you're playing as a team, the grind of a season, and sometimes that you've played so many high level games, and they had played a ton of high level games even before they got into the SEC last year. And I think at some point, the mental fatigue of that, not just the physical, the mental fatigue of so many competitive games, I think got to them. Now, this year, I think they thought they were going to be better in terms of their shooting ability. So that's why they didn't schedule as hard. I mean,
Well,
Kansas and Illinois were their only, tier 1 games in the first semester going to the SEC schedule. Then they get in the SEC schedule and beat Florida, go to Kentucky, had never beat them at Kentucky, and we're 3-0 right off the bat. But they played well in those games because they shot it well.
I mean,
But the
Cruz
problem was they were too inconsistent. Cruz
he shot
never
well
lived up to what he was supposed to be.
Yeah, second half he couldn't shoot.
Yeah, but he did all that against,
I know,
2, 3, and 4 level teams instead of the level 1 teams that he needed to be. So I think I've got faith in Coach Gates, and I think moving forward, I think, now that they've got a general manager in place and they can sit around and, unfortunately, in this world of NIL, I think, Quentin, our boy Quentin down at Principia, I think whoever he goes to play for this year is going to be making a lot of money. I hope it's for the Tigers, but he is going to be making a lot of money. And unfortunately, I say unfortunately that this is happening, but at the same time, it's fortunate because, they keep talking about parity and there's no Cinderellas and all this. Let's face it. I was watching SEC about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and one of the guys on the show was played at Tennessee, and they were talking about NIL. He goes, and that was all below board back in the day. Like, it was going on.
Yeah.
It's just all above board. But, now that it's out there and everybody knows it's out there, now these obscene amounts of money are being paid.
Yeah, it was being done
collegiate
before.
athletes.
Yeah, just people didn't know. I mean, come on.
I just said it was below board. I'm not saying it wasn't happening.
Well, I know,
but at the same time, I think it's, rumors going around Columbia last weekend is that a group of influential basketball boosters, not Mizzou boosters, are like, we're going to do everything we can to get a national title at the University of Missouri. So who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be interesting to see how, the next month with the portal and everything plays out. But
Harvey, your
going back,
thoughts?
Do you think Ant's gone?
am I thinking Ant's gone?
Yeah.
If you would have asked me before the SEC tournament, I would have said yes. But he came back and played a lot better, especially, he was better than T.O. in the tournament game. So,
and he sounded more like he was coming back in the tournament games than I thought. I was like, maybe
this,
he won't.
This is the whole thing. And if it's the one thing, having been around the program as much as I have with my access as being the assistant director for the Coaches Association, is that as much as college basketball and college athletics in general has turned into a transactional process, I do think Gates has used it, even though, depending on how long he has these kids, he's turned it into something transformational. Those kids love him. And even the guys that leave, it isn't something where it's like, oh, you didn't pay me enough money or this or that or the other. Like, they care about those guys, even if they leave or whatever happens. So in terms of Ant, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the portal, because right now the only two guys that don't have any, three guys that don't have any eligibility yet are Mitchell and Phillips and Cruz, correct?
Yeah.
Those are the three main ones that don't have any eligibility left. So I think they're looking, I think last weekend I heard they're looking for 3 or 4 guys. So, and you never know. They have their exit meetings this week and half of them going to enter the portal. They were talking about Pierce took less money to come back. Gates was in the St. Louis media last week pushing for St. Louis boosters to get more money to the NIL. So, it's all fluid. And I know, I can remember last year at the Final Four talking to one of the assistants. He'd literally been watching video on Synergy for 36 straight hours trying to figure out who they were going to grab out of the portal, because there's so many names in there, and trying to figure out what fits for your program. It's going to be interesting to see how the next few weeks play out.
I agree. So going back to the games that are actually still going on, what's your thoughts on how the tournaments went so far? In my opinion, we're not seeing a lot of we're not seeing a lot of Cinderellas. We might get 1 or 2 of these double digits, but now they're done, and we're kind of back to the halves per se.
Well, I would say this. Miami of Ohio was a great story, and they beat SMU, and maybe SMU played the game a little bit and said their one guy was going to play, and then he didn't. But they deserve to be in the tournament. They're 31-1. They deserve to be in the tournament. But in terms of making it to the second weekend, no. I think SLU's the one that really hurt themselves by how they finished. If SLU finishes how they should have, or even say the officials don't mess up that call in the A10 tournament and call a technical foul like they should have, and they win that tournament, you're looking at them being a 5 or a 6 instead of what they were, and have to play Michigan in the second round. And I really felt like with their shooting ability, and you saw what they did to Georgia, when everything's clicking, like, there's nobody that can guard them. But the problem was Michigan was just too big. Like, You can space people out, try to make them come guard you all you want, but if, at the end of the day, they were bigger position by position than SLU, and they defend on a high. On top of being an offensively efficient team, they defend on a high level. Now, I will say this: I love and Chris, you can attest to this because it matched as much grief as I give Matt Thomas about the state of Iowa in general. I love the fact that Iowa beat Florida. And say what you want about the controversial play where the kid that hit the game-winning shot could have possibly got kicked out of the game. Like, I really think Todd Golden shot himself in the foot by going down and yelling at McCollum. I have very rarely ever seen McCollum get that all the times I've watched him play. I've never seen him get fired up like that. Like, Florida had to storm back just to have a chance in that game. He woke up the bear, and I really felt he messed it up by doing that. But at the same time, it's like, you got to take into perspective, like, your guy started that whole thing by flipping the other guy on the floor. Like, there's guilt going both ways. You can say that the one kid should have got thrown out. In my opinion, the hip toss should have got the other kid thrown out. If you're going to throw one of them out, you got to throw both of them out. And I thought the officials erred on the side of caution and didn't throw either one of them out. But that game, I felt was like,
I was really surprised that they didn't, to be honest. You know, I mean, I thought that was, man, because that was a contentious moment, and that should have happened, and they didn't. But you know, we've seen referees that do that in the tournament. So
I think if
it was big.
his fist would have contacted him, he would have been gone, but it didn't. It was almost like he was trying to punch the ball out, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. You know, I think one other thing out of the tournament it was interesting. The kid that hit the game-winning shot against our boys at Kansas, kid at St. John's, hadn't scored a basketball game, and walks up to Canino and says, "Hey, call my number. I got this." He's like, "Wait a minute. You haven't scored." "No, coach, I got this." And the fact that Patino had enough onions, as Raftery would say, to let him do it, like, I mean, that's part of the whole. I mean, we saw it with Mizzou way back when, with Tyus Edney in the 4.8. Like, you just got to get lucky once. I mean, in reality, all you have to do to win the national championship is to win 6 games by a total of 6 points. It doesn't matter how you win. It matters if you win. You know, and everybody can say about the officials and all that in the Florida game. Like, at the end of the day, Iowa won.
I'm so glad Florida lost because I cannot stand Todd Golden. Ugh, I cannot stand him. I think he is the biggest DB. I'm just not a fan.
Defensive back?
He doesn't look like a defensive back to me. He looks maybe like a, you know, like a wide receiver. He doesn't go across the middle though. But this is the whole thing. I didn't feel like he was that bad last year. But this year, it's like respect your opponent. Like, he gets up there in the SEC tournament after first he starts laughing at Kentucky's coach for getting a technical foul. And then on the post game, well, we should have beat them by 20. They haven't led for 1 second in the 3 games that we played them. And it's like, then you turn around and get your butt handed to you the next game. And now you're old man and get the technical foul. The other team's coach didn't laugh at you. Like, you brought some of that stuff on yourself. Do I think he's a good coach? Yeah. And to be honest with you, if you listen to the post-game comments about their analytics, the team messed up. They were trying to foul. They were trying to foul in that situation, and they whiffed. Sorry, guys. I got to make sure my alarm doesn't go off. I'd hate to mess up the middle of the show with a nice alarm.
Time to go to bed. It's alarm.
It's all right.
Well,
our show has been pretty messed up with our glitches tonight. Anyway, it's all good.
So I mean,
yeah, we're trying to talk to our chat support here, and they're wanting all this stuff. I'm like, I'm in the middle of something here. It's crazy.
Trust me, I talked to him for about 30 minutes trying to get on here. So I'm not a real fan of them right now. So, but I'm going to be interested. I'm going to be interested this weekend to see if Texas can pull off another win. They were streaky. Like they would play games where they'd lay an egg, and then they played a game like they did against Missouri where they just shot the living daylights out of it. And I'm trying to go on my list here. I'm trying to act like I'm prepared. I pulled up ESPN because they're picked out of the 16 teams. They're 16 out of 16 according to Jay Billis. But I believe it's the Pope kid. Like he's a pro. Like he can shoot the living daylights out of it. And that big kid, however you say his name, Volkaitis or whatever, he's averaging a double-double in the NCAA tournament. Like you just knows. You'd have told me 4 years ago that Terrace Reed would go for 32 and 27 in an NCAA tournament game. I'd have told you you're crazy because I thought everybody missed the boat on him because they were trying to make him a back to the basket player instead of a face-up player because that's what he was in high school. But Danny Hurley got him going, and I thought in the second round game, they got limited a little bit, but I'm going to be interested to see what happens in round two or around the Sweet 16 game with UConn and which team shows up. That will be like if they get past that one and get to the Final Four, like that. Imagine Early getting 3 championships in 4 years. You think he can't walk into a room now? Like, who knows? But they got it. It's hard to say. They got a senior that's been there in Caravan. He's got 2 titles. But one of the guys they're depending on is a freshman. Solo kid. I don't know. He was really bad Sunday. So I don't know what's going to happen in the Sweet 16 game. It'll be interesting. The one I'm interested in, the biggest one I think, is St. John's. I think St. John's could legit get to the Final Four. I think they can beat Duke. That's just my personal opinion. What do you think, Jarvis?
Well, I had Duke losing, but to Kansas. So, yeah.
So, Miller, let me ask you then, since he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Well, I just wanted Duke to lose. I hate Duke. But I hate Kansas too. So, go St. John's.
Oh, well, what exactly are you wanting to know that I would know? My bracket looks like the meme of the dumpster floating down a flooded street while it's burning on fire.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I quit filling out brackets. And I quit filling them out because, especially if I did it with friends or whatever, I get frustrated because it's like these people that don't know anything about basketball are just picking because of mascots and all that. It's like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's just ticking me off. Like, I'm not about frustrating myself when I don't have to frustrate myself. So it's whatevs.
Well, Shawn, you could be answering angry emails. I just got one. I mean, as we're speaking,
I should have known.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
been there, done that.
Yeah, it's fun. Jarvis said he's taking it over next year. He can have it, right?
Nope.
What? It's fun.
I couldn't even make it to the Final Four this year. How am I going to take that over? I couldn't. Yeah, not gonna happen.
Hey, it's I think we are in for some really good games the next 2 rounds, and I'd like to see if Iowa can keep it going. I think McCollum is a great coach, and I hate that he's at Iowa because I don't like any state school that surrounds Missouri, because I am a Missouri fan. I would like Missouri State before I would like any freaking school. Wichita State is about the only school I kind of actually like. It has nothing to do with their mascot, I promise. But other than that, like I hate all of them. And he went to Iowa, and that's really disappointing. But he's done a hell of a job there. I'm really curious to see if I love Kelvin Sampson. I wasn't a big fan of him earlier on. I really like him and how he coaches, how his practices, his kids play. I just don't know if they were so close. They were so close to winning it. And I wish Kelvin Sampson could give him a ring, personally, because I think he's a hell of a coach. I am rooting
No,
for the Johnnies. I hope they can beat Duke. I don't think they can.
well, this is the whole deal. You're talking about Kelvin Sampson. He got grief about too many text messages and all that stuff. And it's like, I think you can say what you want. And, it's sort of like the same thing with Will Wade and NC State. He may be going back to LSU again. Like, the stuff was going on, but now it's above board. Does that make you a cheater at the time? Yeah, it does. But in terms of Sampson, like, how are you supposed to, the constraints on the texting with players, how are you supposed to develop relationships with players and decide whether they're fit or not if you can't talk to them? To me, that was asinine on the NCAA's part. But at the same time, you have to follow the rules.
It's a stupid
But
rule.
no, that's neither here nor there. But this is what I would say about Sampson. Right. And Pitino's been this way for a long time. And I think it's even more now. And you can love him or hate him. But speaking in terms of Kelvin Sampson, I think Kelvin Sampson is old enough and he's not worried about losing his job. And what I mean by that is he doesn't need the University of Houston. They need him. So he's going to do it his way. He's built a culture on tough kids that want to play his way. I don't think he gets enough credit as an X's and O's coach. He's a very good defensive coach. I think he's just got a bunch of kids that are going to run through a wall for him. And that's what he had last year. I mean, I was at the semifinal games in San Antonio, and Duke had all their dudes. And sometimes it's about being in the moment. Like, I'm watching all these tournament games. Somebody needs to teach these guys how to break a press. And that was the semifinal game. When I tell you I was in one of the end zones and I'm on Houston's bench side. So I can see Duke throwing in the inbounds. And I'm like in the third level. I got an okay seat. It's not like right on the floor. But when I can tell you from all the way up there, I could see the inbounder shaking when he was trying to throw the ball in bounds. Sometimes it's better to have, I'm going to say dumb kids, but I'm not meaning dumb in terms of sometimes having kids that are really intelligent, they understand the moment's too big, so they get scared. And then you got kids that have no fear or just don't realize the moment's as big as it is because they look at it as the next moment instead of the moment and don't get scared of the moment. The Duke kids got scared of the moment in that game. And it says a lot to, what Houston's about. They weren't ever going to give up because they could have legit gave up in that game.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what we have going on with St. John's too. I mean, what I love is the fact that Pitino he hit a low, when he left Louisville, and he was kind of a little bit disgraced, and now he's on the upswing, man, and he is everywhere on social media. People love Rick Pitino again, and he hasn't done anything different. Obviously, the other stuff, people are human, they make mistakes, but man, as a coach, I mean, what I love is all these old school coaches are still in it. And these are the guys that everybody questions. Well, here's a clip of them just screaming at their kid and cussing them. And that's not how you coach kids. That's how you get results. Really? What, you don't think that still works with some of these kids? I mean, what are you talking about? It obviously is working.
That locker room scene of Pitino with him just ripping their ass about, is this what you learned? Is this what your parents taught you? He's just ripping them, man. I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that.
This is the problem with social
Yeah.
media, though. I don't know if you guys saw this in the women's NCAA tournament. The University of Maryland coach, Marcia Freeze, is
I
right in
saw it.
her girl's grill. And you don't have to know, like, I can read her lips just because she's saying it in a demonstrative tone. I believe in you. We need you. I believe in you. I mean, look, they were on TMZ today talking it all out. The player and the coach tell them what happened and to like leave us alone. Quit over analyzing this. Like deep down, kids want to be coached. It's when the parents get in the way. You know, I was talking to
Yes.
a coach today that coaches college, but he coaches another sport. And you know, I've told many a person, I will never coach high school sports again because of the parents. And he said, and he's probably 20, probably 15 years younger than me. And he said the same thing. I don't think I could go back. No, you can't. Like, it's like, and I tell people this, like, it was starting to get bad. And then COVID happened. And all these parents stayed home with their kids. And all they were trying to do is get their kids to leave them alone and try to make them happy. So they would leave them alone. Well, now they go back to school and they're complaining about everything. So who are they going to blame? God forbid you make your kid and hold them accountable. They're blaming the teachers or blaming the schools. And it's like, you get to that college level, it's like, and now that they're getting paid, like I was watching an announcer a couple weeks ago, and he's like, these guys are getting paid. You can't talk to them that way. The hell you can't. Like when you become a true professional, then okay. And you're playing an 82 game schedule instead of a 38 max schedule. Then you can say, you can't get mad at every little thing because if you keep getting mad at every little thing, you're going to lose the locker room. These younger kids, they need that. So they understand, like, he's been a pro. He knows what it's all about. Like, he's helping these guys become pros. He's trying to hold them to a standard because at the professional level, they might get in your butt every little once in a while, but it's going to be like, hey, this is how much money you're making. You either figure it out or you're sitting the bench or we're cutting you because if you're not producing and living up to your contract, we'll find the next person. And say what you want. I mean, Tom Izzo, love the dude. Like, he's doing the same thing. And all those guys.
There's nothing wrong with that. And that's the thing. It's like if I'm going to pay you to play here, then you're going to do it my way. And if you're not, then you're gone. Bring in the next guy.
I'll pay somebody else.
Bring in the next guy.
Yeah.
That's called if we're talking about capitalism here, and I'm paying you, and you're an employee, you're 1099 or whatever the hell they make them in college because they're independent contractors. Then by God, you're going to do what I need you to do, or you're gone. Real simple, not a big deal. And I think when universities start saying here's the clauses you have to abide by for these NILs, make them sign contracts or whatever they do, and make them hold them accountable more. You make the coaches have a little bit more power, but the people who already have that power, the guys that are, the Caliparis and the Patinos and the guys who are like, listen, I don't care, you're going to do it my way, you're gone. It's going to make things better. We're paying them. It is what it is. I can have beliefs on it all day long. If they're not going to pay them on top, they're going to pay them underneath. So it doesn't matter. Pay the kids, be done with it. I'd rather be above board, as you said in reference earlier. So that's the world we live in. They might as well just go ahead and just say, like you said, you're playing 38 games. You're not playing 82, but you're working for the University of insert name. You're doing it my way. I'm in charge. You're the player. You don't like it. You can take your $4 million, not playing hard ass and sit on the bench. I'll play the walk-on kid, and they don't care. I got to get more out of you.
Here's the one problem with it, and hopefully one of these days somebody will figure it out. And I'm so tired of Jay Billis saying, well, if coaches can move, then players can move. Yeah, coaches got buyouts in their contracts. That's the big thing going on in North Carolina right now. Which big name coach are we going to get, and how much is it going to cost to get him here because we're going to have to pay his buyout? These kids are on 1 year contracts. I mean, or they agree to a contract and they get out of the contract. Take, for example, the quarterback that was at Tennessee, left and went to UCLA because he wanted more money and he hadn't done anything to earn the money, for one. Two, he'd signed a contract. Like, if we're trying to teach these kids how to be pros and allow them to make money, then there has to be pro consequences to them making that money. Like, if you sign on to go to a school, unless the coach gets fired, they shouldn't. And you have signed an NIL, you shouldn't be allowed to get out of that NIL. You should have to honor that NIL. And quite frankly, I think they need to be multiple years with buyout clauses in them. That's just my personal opinion.
No, it's like that.
I agree.
Yeah, the D lineman from Mizzou that left, and he's now going to like his third school or whatever. He owes like the guy from Georgia or whatever. He owes Georgia money, and then he go back to Miami now, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to hold these kids accountable, or it's NIL stuff so out of control right now. It's insane to me. Insane.
Well, I agree. It's a big problem. We're going to take we went a little long on this, but we're going to take a quick break. We come back. We're going to talk about some Cardinals. I don't know how Shawn is excited about that or not. There's a lot of people. Hey, there's a lot of opening day tickets left if anybody's interested in that. So, the sellouts are gone, but the Clydesdales will be there. And here in about 2.5, 3 minutes, we'll be right back too. You're watching Coach's Box.
I'm a big rock. And while you're down there posing for pictures, I'm seeing the bigger picture from up here. And this little birdie's telling me it's time for this rock to roll. Photo bomb! And if you don't have the right insurance, this can really flatten your savings.
Awesome.
So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
On average, heating and cooling account for around 40% of your energy bills. Introducing the efficient Daikin Fit, a revolutionary HVAC system for ducted homes. While other units use considerable energy turning on and off, the Daikin Fit saves energy through consistent comfort control. It's the perfect fit for homes like yours. See the difference. Feel the benefits. Daikin Fit.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com. Check out Elite Collectibles, now at 2 locations. Our Arnold store focuses on Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, and other trading cards plus tournaments. Our Imperial location offers a little mix of everything, including sports and trading cards for all collectors. And don't forget, we host consignment auctions every Tuesday. Stop by, hang out, and see what you can pull at Elite Collectibles, now with an Arnold location and an Imperial location. If you love sports at every level, there's only one place to be. Gateway Sports covers it all. Preps, college, and the pros. Real coverage, real voices, real passion for the game. From live shows to podcasts, Gateway Sports connects the region like nobody else. Proudly powered by First Form and Recalibrate.com. Visit gatewaysports.net. Every level, one gateway.
Hey. Ooh. Well,
Hey, we're
welcome back.
Chris.
Yeah. Well, apparently we've had a little bit of a technical glitch, and I became Chris.
Well, you're a lot better than Chris anyway, so that's good. So, Hey, everybody, welcome back. Coach's Box is back without Chris.
Well, let's just talk a little. We can talk a little bit about how real life technical issues just happen upon us on an everyday life, and yeah, well, here it goes.
So, like, it's only letting 3 people in. Is that what the issue is right now?
Apparently so. Judy, the chat bot AI help wasn't much help. And this is where we're at. We started the stream with 3. It won't let us add anybody else, so that's what we're stuck with. So
can leave, guys, so Chris can come back. It's no big deal.
So, Chris said he had to answer an email. Probably some coach asking about why some kid didn't make All-State.
Oh, forever and always.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
Did that for 17 years. So.
And it's Chris's fault that they didn't make All-State.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the system's flawed. God forbid we get, everybody wants to give a participation.
Yeah. Well, I said earlier
ribbon to everybody
that everyone should get an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I got an email either today or yesterday about academic All-State, and it's like, well, you should not just have it just be seniors. Like, it's been seniors since the beginning of our organization. Like,
yeah.
Well, I get grief because it's other coaches' organizations do it different. Well, we've taken pride in raising the bar. Like, somebody was arguing about the difference. Well, this amount of kids make it in football, and it's like, yeah, there's 3 teams at 66. It's like 66 kids for 3 teams plus the special teams guys, and it's like
they hand them out in some of the other sports. Yes,
I run the academic All-State for the Softball Coaches Association, and ours aligns with the same kind of requirements as what the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association use. So we aligned with them because we're partners with them. So it made sense to do it that way for us. Every association's different, so they're all going to handle it differently based on what they've done in the past and maybe even what national associations do.
So Chris said we were going to talk a little bit about the Cardinals. So I will say this I will start a little bit. We actually are starting the season with JJ on the roster. I really didn't know if they would or not. I mean, I really didn't know because you know how the Cardinals are, and it's starting someone's clock and blah, blah, blah. But then I don't understand the 3-catcher thing and sending the guy that led all hitting down to the minors.
Is it Nelson Velasquez? Is that what it is?
Velasquez or whatever.
Yeah. Why they kept Nathan Church, and they only kept 3 outfielders on the roster, and they kept as many catchers as they did outfielders. Because
they're saying Sajasi and another Furman or whatever, they are going to play outfield too.
We have 6 of the same guy on the roster.
Yes,
Sajasi and Fermin are the same player.
Yes, you keep one of those, and you keep that guy that can hit home runs.
Yes, and
I don't care what his track record is. I don't care that he did. You told the guy, prove it in spring training, and we'll put you on the roster. And he proves it in spring training, and you wonder why people don't want to come to St. Louis.
He has what I read. He has 600 pro at bats, and he has a higher home run per at bat ratio than
all 3 outfielders combined. I think
someone said even Vladimir Guerrero. He's hit more pro home runs than Vladimir Guerrero has in those 600 at bats ratio wise. So the dude can hit. Why is he not in St. Louis? Why does he have to go to Memphis? Especially with Nootbaar now on the 60-day DL and probably out for a good portion of the year.
Well, they're going to say, well, we could bring him up whenever we want. I don't understand. Okay, I've had enough of this Fermin, whatever. He's terrible.
Yeah.
JC's the same guy, like you said. Dude. I don't.
Here's the problem. When Miller told me what you guys are going to be talking about tonight, I tried to be a professional and be somewhat educated about it. So I pulled up their 40-man roster and I literally just counted through it. I feel like I'm Bob Uecker on Major League because out of their 40-man roster, I knew who 11 of them were.
So
out of the 40. That's a problem. This is St. Louis Cardinals.
Sean's not part of our group chat, and there's this thing I sent earlier. What's the stat? The Cardinals. Oh, yeah, here it is. Cardinals are the only team in Major League Baseball without a former All-Star on their team. And yes, that includes the White Sox and the Rockies. Both have at least an All-Star some point on their roster.
Like there's tanking and there's flushing it down the toilet.
They also have 0 position players who played in the 2010s. That means every position player made their debut after 2020.
JJ Romero never made the All-Stars?
Say what?
JJ Romero didn't make the All-Star?
No,
we have
position.
No one?
Hey, position players.
We don't have a position player that made the All-Star. Yeah,
every position player made their Major League debut post-COVID.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
And that's saying like even if they were in the minors, like that's like
that is Cleveland Indians, Bob Uecker, Major League levels of this guy's dead. Well, then cross him off the list type of stuff here. It's like they're trying to move the team to they're trying to move the team to Boca Raton. So I don't know what to do, but it's like I said, the roster construction I'm extremely confused by. Both backup catchers, Pozo and Pajes, are the same person.
How do you have 5 catchers on your 40-man roster?
Yep.
There's no way all 5 of them are worthy of having a roster spot.
No,
you got 5 catchers, and then you on your 40-man roster. Oh, just lost it.
Yeah,
you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You've got 5 catchers for 1 spot, and you've got 6 outfielders for 3 spots. How much sense does that make? I'm not a baseball savant, but that's not good business.
I was the guy for the last few years that was claiming they were going to get to 91 wins. I don't know that I can do that this year. I can't do it, Jason.
I don't know if they're going to get to 60.
So,
dude, I mean, they've had a good spring training, but I don't understand. I just don't understand. The biggest thing to me was sending that guy down. I don't understand that at all. I don't understand the 3 catcher thing. I do like both of those catchers that start with. Aren't they both P's?
It's Pozo
and Pozo.
Yeah,
Pozo and Pajes.
Pajes or whatever, however they say it. And if you're planning on catching Herrera more this year, like they said they are, I don't understand all that,
because neither Pajes or Pozo profiles as a designated hitter. You know who profiles as a designated hitter? That Nelson Velasquez. I'm going to get his name right. I'm saying it wrong, but the dude just mashes. He's your designated hitter.
Well, he has to be an outfielder when you only got 3 on your roster.
Well, you've got Nathan Church and Victor Scott, who are in a little bit of the same profile as well. If you want,
I like the Nathan Church guy, but you can't keep both Nathan Church and who was the other guy?
Victor Scott.
Yeah, they're same guy.
Your outfield should be the Nelson in left, Scott in center, Walker in right on opening day.
Yes.
It should be Burleson at first, Weatherholt at second, Wynn at short, Gorman at third, Herrera behind the plate, and Liberatore pitching. That should be your opening day lineup.
Then who's your DH?
Oh crap! I forgot about that.
I'd have
Pajes behind the plate in Herrera hitting that.
Yeah,
but don't list
or Pozo catching, and then Herrera's your DH.
You don't list Herrera as a catcher. You list him as a DH if you're going to do it this way, and it makes more sense unless people complain less about it.
So who's the guy you said was mashing they sent down?
Nelson Velasquez.
He's not even on the 40-man roster.
Yeah, he was a non-roster invitee. He has hit, in his career, he has hit 31 home runs and 500 at-bats, 550 pro at-bats. That's
is that all levels or is that major league?
I think I'm double checking this, but I'm thinking it's all levels. But just in this spring training. Well, nope. That's all levels. That's all major leagues. That's the Cubs and the Royals. So he doesn't hit for much. He hits about 220, which is almost all-star level in Major League Baseball these days.
This is his spring training. He was 357. Slugging, I guess, was 667 with 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 42 at-bats.
Yeah. His major league, if they put him to 162 game average on the baseball reference page, he hits 26 home runs, 73 RBIs, only hits 212, but that profiles as a designated hitter. Just a guy that mashes.
They have him at his career, in the majors is 212, 31 home runs, 87 RBIs.
Yeah. He basically played one whole season. All three of his seasons in the major leagues all have been equivalent of one full-time season.
And his OPS is .719.
Yeah.
So, in all the articles, if you look him up right now, I just searched his name, and it says Cardinals shocking Nelson Velasquez roster cut explained. All the articles are like, why is he not up?
Do they even? And I'm now wondering. It's like, do they even have a full 40-man? Because at one point they didn't have a full 40-man.
Well, hang on, I'll tell you because I got it pulled up right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. They kept 22 pitchers.
Yeah, they kept 13 pitchers at the major league level.
And they got 22 on their 40-man.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5. 23 and 8's 30, or 23 and 5's 28. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So the biggest thing in the
36.
article that I've seen is because he's not on the 40-man roster, they would have to take someone off the 40-man roster.
Well, I thought
right now they got 42 guys on there because Newt Barr and one of the pitchers don't count because they're on the IL.
You're on the 60
Dobbins
day.
is on the 15 and Newt Barr's on the 60.
Yeah, once you get so because I think once you get to the 60 man, you're not counted on the 40 man.
The article I'm reading, though, it basically said if it was strictly a performance standpoint, he would have made the team, but because of the 40-man roster, because they would have had to put someone like Sajasi or Furman, or they would have had to made a decision on someone else not to be on that 40-man roster, and then they would have took a chance. Like they would have had to left Furman off, and someone could pick him up.
Well, here's what I'll say. They've got 8 infielders on their 40-man roster. Only one is playing at the minors right now. And Urias, Sajasi, and Fermin are all the same person. I feel like one of those could go. Are we really losing anything by letting one of those go off the 40-man roster? No, not even a little bit. So I don't know. That's my 2 biggest questions about roster construction, and I hope they prove me wrong, are 1, why do we have 3 catchers if Herrera is going to be catching more? It just seems like a waste of a roster spot. And then 2, why is Velasquez not on this roster somehow?
And then, I mean, we haven't even talked about, you look at their pitching staff, and
I recognize like 4 or 5 of the guys of the 22 that are on their 40-man roster. I don't even know who half of these guys are. I literally feel like Major League. This is insane. I don't know who half of these guys are.
They picked up some of these guys. They picked up in those trades. The Roycroft, I think, Soriano, I think, came over in one of the deals that they made.
I mean, the Tim Kent's kid's supposed to be. Isn't he one of their better minor league prospects?
Yep. And I think he's going to be at Memphis. The Cooper Herpy guy is supposed to be at Memphis.
I mean, their starting rotation. I mean, opening day starter is Matt Liberatore. Their number 2 starter is Michael McGreevy. I guess our number 3 is Dustin May.
Yeah.
Is Palante going to be a starter?
Our 4
Palante's
is
one.
Our 4 is Kyle Leahy. And then it's like.
And then it's Palante.
I mean,
so.
I mean, and you said the number 1 was Liberatore, and he's probably a 4 or 5 on a normal roster.
Riley O'Brien is probably our closer if it's not just,
It's they had the Svanson, Matt Svanson. He's one that he throws pretty hard. They had him closing at the end of the year.
And JJ, Jojo Romero. I mean, we knew this going in. It's just,
yeah.
Ugh.
We're gonna see all kinds of people make major league debuts this year. I think we may set a record for it.
I mean, and Walker, what are we gonna get out of that dude?
So I mean,
I am anxious to see. Can they just leave Gorman alone? Can they leave him over there at third and just let him play and see if he can actually do it or not? Can they do it?
I really don't care if he plays a bad third base. I just want him, let him hit, let him mash. Right-handed pitching, left-handed pitching, whatever.
Just leave him there and let him hit. And if he doesn't do it, then done with him.
But
the same could be said for Walker, though. They've messed with him so much. You almost just got to give him a full year, and you'll figure out what he is at the end of the year. Just let him play about 140 games and figure out if he is what we think he is. If he's not,
leave them both alone and just let them go. I don't understand it. I've said this about, gosh dang it, not Walker, but the guy said before him. Gosh dang
it, Gorman.
I've said it for years. Just leave him alone.
Yeah.
Decide the position you're going to play him at. Play him there, and just leave him alone. He probably is about a 230 hitter. But if he bats 230 and he matches about 35 home runs, I'm fine with it.
I'm more than fine with it. He's an all-star if he does that.
If he matches 30 home runs and bats about 230, I'm fine with it.
I will say this, and I've said it on the show before. I think we're going to see a little bit different. I think you're going to see them left alone because the transparency in the front office has been very different with Chaim Bloom versus Mo, in the sense that Mo wasn't trying to hide it, or Mo was trying to hide it and be like, we're still trying to be competitive. No, you're not, dude. Stop. Chaim Bloom's like, no, we're rebuilding this thing. You're going to have to give us 2 or 3 years to get this right and get it figured out and kind of get some things through. We've got to see where these guys are. I think he's more than willing, if they're making some of these shots, they're calling some of these shots from the front office. It's going to be Walker goes to right every day, and Gorman goes to third every day. JJ Weatherholt goes to second. Wynn goes to short. I mean, you might see the same 9 for a good part of the year. New Bar, if he ever gets healthy.
I think Burley has to play first and just leave him alone too. I mean, I think your infield is set. I don't think you touch them.
Yeah, and you just use some other ones to give some rests every now and then.
Who are you going to put in? Excuse my language. Gosh dang.
Nope.
This is what the Cardinals do to me. Who are you going to put in? I mean,
yeah,
seriously.
but you're talking about roster construction, and what we just talked about, that might be their intention. We don't have anybody on the bench that we can play over these guys. If anything, you could say that the Cardinals went by the numbers too much and never let anybody have a chance to go through rough patches and just fight through it. The way their roster is constructed,
I
These
would
guys
be
are going to have to play
I would be
100,
You can't. There's no
130, 140 games.
I'd be way happier if they would have put like 18 pitchers on the roster and have like 11 position players and then 15 players or 15
I
pitchers.
believe I just dropped the F-bomb. Gosh dang. But
Well, you notice I'm not
put
very
in?
surprised.
I'm definitely not surprised.
But there's no one to put in. I mean,
That's
it's
what I'm
JC
saying.
and Fermin. Just no one to put in.
That's my point. They're going to let them eat. And if they eat, they eat. If they don't, they're going to starve.
Have one backup catcher, one backup infielder, one backup outfielder, and then the rest all be pitchers. And just let all the pitchers throw their arms off and just use these guys in the field every day in, every day out. Even if they get shut out for 5 straight days.
And if you're going to carry 3 catchers, that's telling me Herrera is going to be doing a lot of DHing, in my opinion.
It's so
he's going to be
I think the intention might have been, hey, we're going to have this guy catch more. And they get into spring training and they get through spring training and go, we can't have this guy catch more.
No, he can't catch. He's a DH, period.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's their 4th outfielder. They tried him out there a little bit last year. Matt Adams all over again.
He's better.
Jumbo Pepsi.
He's athletic. I think he can play outfield. But I don't even care about that. Why we always want to do that? Why the Cardinals always want to play someone somewhere else? Just leave him alone.
Professional athlete. You should be able to play the outfield.
He's got a point.
First base is easy, right, Hatterberg? Go ahead.
Listen, every high school has some kid at the end of the bench that they go, where are we going to play this kid? Stick him out in left field for a couple of innings.
First base.
Put him in right field for a couple of innings. You mean to tell me Herrera, they don't look down the bench and go, hey, he could go play right field for a couple of innings? Just stick him out there. Let him go chase stuff down. They do it all the time, goofing around during BP.
All he's got to do is catch the ones hit right at him.
The guy can catch or block curveballs in the dirt. You don't think he can catch a lazy fly ball, a can of corn? Absolutely. Just stick him out there. Give him a bigger glove. Let it happen.
Well, I think on that note, I'm done with the Cardinals and done with this show for tonight.
Man, we didn't even talk Blues, who are now playing well after they got rid of everybody. But, yeah.
It's another St. Louis sport that depressed me.
Okay, can we talk some St. Louis City, perhaps, maybe?
What's that?
Oh, man. All right. Well, I think we do need to call it a night. It's about that time anyway.
And sorry about all the technical difficulties here at the coach's box. I blame that all on Chris Miller.
Yeah. No. 100% this is Zach McVay.
Oh, well, yeah. Zach McVay.
No. 100% Jim Powers.
I knew that was coming out of him. I knew he was going to say Jim Powers.
And we forgot to mention Zach McVay, the JCAA middle school basketball coach of the year. So,
Austin Petrie.
They give it for middle school now?
We did.
we did on this show.
Yeah.
And his name is Zach McVay.
Yeah. We wrote it in pen, so it's him next year too. Shawn, sorry I was only with you be part of for one of the segments, but thanks for joining us this evening.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
And we'll be back in a couple of weeks with episode 259.
And hopefully we'll have more than 3.
Yeah, Chris will get this figured out. Judy, the AI chatbot, hopefully gets this figured out very soon. So
fingers crossed.
You are a fan favorite of Julie, the chatbot.
Judy, get it right.
Judy, come on.
Julie, whatever.
But all right. Well, to everybody else, we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you soon.